Everyone. I hope that you are joining the right place. We are here for happy hour with your favorite Northern California destinations with Capitol Corridor. And I hope that everyone has had a great day. I see we've got about 28 participants online, so welcome everybody. I'm Priscilla Kalugnan. I'm the marketing manager for Capitol Corridor, and we are super excited here to welcome you to our very first happy hour, presenting different Northern California destinations. I've got my colleague Karen Baker here with me co-hosting. Yay! And I hope that you have a drink with you, something refreshing. It turned out to be much warmer today than I thought it was going to be. So hopefully you have something nice and cool with you. At the Capitol Corridor, we serve Sacramento, Auburn foothills, all the way down to San Jose. So I'm excited to hear more from our guests today about all the different places we can go. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Karen because she's got some details for us to go through.
Okay. Thank you. So thank you, Priscilla. So as Priscilla said, tonight we're going to have presenters from 6 really amazing destinations along our route, and they're going to provide us with some travel inspiration in Northern California. So you can not only get some ideas on places that you can start visiting this spring and summer, but also support our local economy, which is really important at this time. So before I introduce our first destination presenter, I just wanted to go over a few housekeeping items. So first of all, this webinar is being recorded. So we hope to have a replay up probably in the next few days. And I think we'll be able to get an email out to folks as well too and provide a link to that. So you'll be able to see this or share it with others who maybe couldn't make it. Your cameras are not on, so no one's actually visible on this. And also everyone is muted. We will take questions at the end for all of our presenters. So if you do have a question, we encourage you to put it in the Q&A. You can also put it in the chat, but we prefer that questions go in the Q&A just because it's a little bit easier to organize there. If you have any comments though on the presentations, or let's say you have some like really great idea of a place that you'd like to go in a particular area, feel free to put those in the comments. We can actually save all of those as well and provide that if we do get a lot of good ideas. And then finally, I wanted to let you know that we want you all to stick around to the end because we are going to have some prize giveaways. And the way that's going to work is when the webinar ends and you leave the webinar, a page should pop up that's like a little survey, but it's not really a survey, and it'll give you an opportunity to leave your email address so that we can be in touch with you if you win. So there will be prize packages from the destinations that we're featuring tonight, and you'll have a chance to win. So I just want to alert you to that. I'll remind you of that later too. So, okay, without further ado, I want to move on to the actual presentations. So our first destination was a magnet for gold seekers looking to strike it rich in the mid 1800s. But today it's really more of a mecca for food lovers and for beer aficionados. And so with that, I'm going to crack open the first drink of the evening, which is a beer from Sacramento, our first destination. Yay! This is a New Glory beer, and it says gummy worms on it. So I don't really know what
that's
that is.
interesting.
We'll crack that open. I won't drink it just yet. I'll wait till after this is over. But there's still some interesting brew in Sacramento's history. The Buffalo Brewing Company, and I don't have a beer from them, couldn't find one, was a Sacramento institution before the Prohibition, and its beer was the inspiration for new Helvetia brewing company that recalls the history of the Swiss immigrants. So I'm going to turn this over to Sonia Bradley of Visit Sacramento, and she can talk more about our capital city while I pour my beer.
Hi, Sonia.
There we go.
Hello. Hi, Priscilla. Hi, Karen.
I did not do a good job on that, but hey. All right, Sonia.
It will still taste good, right? Yeah.
Right.
It'll taste good at 6.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and I want to know what that tastes like too later. You'll
Okay.
have to
I have
do
3
that on the
more in my fridge.
post event stuff. Okay.
Awesome. Well, hey, glad to be here. Thank you for showing one of our many beers. I actually have one myself. This is a Rustaller, one of the that's named after one of our original brewery pioneers. They actually grow hops in the region, and they print Sacramento on their bottle. So we're very proud of our brewing tradition. I am not opening that, however, right now, because I'm just going to give you a little bit of a sort of a 1 day. If you're here in Sacramento for a day, I'm sure some of you might even be in Sacramento, but if you're here for a day, taking the train up, or even 2 days, we like that even better. You can actually get to many of these breweries with just a drive away from the Sacramento train station, which is where you would get off, and you would be right smack in the dap of Old Sacramento Waterfront. So I think we have a image of Old Sacramento Waterfront.
Sorry, I'm not doing my job on that.
Put the beer down. The nice thing with a lot of us, you just get off the train station and you can actually spend the day here without without having a car, which is really nice. This is Old Sacramento Waterfront. It's the historic district. It's located right at the confluence of the American and Sacramento rivers, for those of you who are familiar with it. And this is the place where all those gold seekers got off their boats and their ships and their whatever, and thought they passed through here before they headed off to the hills to hopefully find gold. And I'm sure most of you know from your California history, most of them did not find gold. The few that got rich were most of the suppliers, the Levi's of the world, the Wells Fargo, the Crockers. They were the ones who made the big money. Occasionally people found the gold nugget. But all this is preserved in Old Sacramento Waterfront. One of the first stops you might want to take, even though you just got off a modern train, you might want to go to the California State Railroad Museum. And that'll be our next slide. This has some of the finest collections of locomotives and environmental scenes. They really do an excellent job of showing California and the West railroad history. Because you all recall again from your perhaps 4th grade education, Sacramento was the end of the Transcontinental Railroad, and that's where one of the golden spikes was driven into the ground, and actually there is a golden spike on display. But in addition to that, you also have incredible locomotives. There's even one that has a bit of motion to it, where you can also see some of the actual china that was on some of those luxurious train rides back in the day. You can also see one that was a reproduction of a car there where all the fruits and vegetables were hauled. We do call ourselves America's farm to port capital, because all those trains was carrying all the food throughout the country. Next on your stop would be this Ferris wheel, which was added actually last year. This is new to the waterfront for us. There's also a carousel, but this new Ferris wheel was added to the riverfront. It has incredible views. It is open daily from 11 to 8, and it will be in Sacramento through December of 2021. They actually extended it. It was actually scheduled to leave.
So exciting.
Yeah, it was actually scheduled to leave at the end of last year, but they did keep it. Everything I'm going to mention has strict COVID protocols, so you do need to, I think you can purchase a ticket, but you need to be a family of 1 unit in each car. So if you get a chance, come on down and check that out. You can also take a nice leisurely stroll over to the Crocker Art Museum. It has an incredible premier collection of California art from Gold Rush to present, but it also has an incredible display of European and African and Asian art as well. An exhibit coming, I believe, in June is from Louis Comfort Tiffany, which sounds really cool to check out. So that comes in June. Get a chance to check that out. I saw that there's also our exhibit coming around the National Academy of Design, looking at from the 19th century all through present. But what you're looking at here is, to the right is the newer building, and to the left is the original building, which was actually a part of the Crocker. The Crocker were one of the first people to actually bring the art to to Sacramento. So they are open Thursday through Sunday. You do need to buy a time ticket, but they're open Thursday through Sunday from 10 to 5. And to get some more time, head over to what we call DOCO, or Downtown Commons, where Golden One Center is. They have al fresco dining, and they have, as you can see, outdoor seating for folks. There's also some shopping available, and there's even a movie theater once everyone's comfortable going into movies. It's just a really good, really fun place to hang out now, with our ability now to actually take our mask off if we're all vaccinated and ready to go. And finally, I just want to mention, if you get to stay a little extra time, be sure and check out one of the murals in Sacramento. We have over 700 murals in town, and they're almost on every wall in downtown and various neighborhoods throughout the city. This started as part of a project called Wide Open Walls, and we're very, very proud of the artwork that has been added to Sacramento. So that's all I have for today. If you want to know what's happening in Sacramento, I actually recommend you go to sacramento365.com, and you can see a full list of activities and events taking place. So thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sonia. And I'm really glad you mentioned the Crocker Art Gallery, because I don't think a lot of people know about that museum, and it's really a wonderful place, and you can walk to it from our train. So that's really great. Hey, there was actually a question that came up. I know we're going to do questions at the end, but I thought I would just interject with this. Someone asked, Martha asked, when will the restrooms reopen at the Sacramento? Oh, sorry. I thought that was more about Old Town Sacramento. This is more about the train station. Priscilla, we might have to get back to people.
Yeah, I messaged her and said that
oh, you did? Okay.
I'm checking on that. And
okay.
I had pressed the wrong button. So,
okay.
But yeah,
cool.
we will be.
I know I didn't
letting
read
you guys
it fully,
know.
And I was thinking it
yeah,
was.
So. Also, there's another question that came in, and it's for Sonia. When will the newly remodeled convention center open?
It will open. The grand opening is scheduled for the first week in June. I can't tell you how happy we are to see that finally open.
First week in June. That's really exciting, and this art is beautiful. I love seeing all that wall art. That's great.
I know. Okay, Priscilla, I'm going to let you introduce our next awesome destination, and I'll do that before I change the slide.
Okay.
I'm sure people will figure out our order at some point.
Yes. So this next destination, you can enjoy amazing local wine and delicious jelly beans. The famous confection company Jelly Belly was founded in 1898 and is headquartered in Fairfield. The region's really becoming a growing wine destination, which I didn't know about. And so I think I'm really excited to hear more about the different wineries that are in the area. And we've got our next speaker coming up.
And that is Anand Patel for Visit Fairfield. So.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the time. My name is Anand Patel. I'm with Visit Fairfield, and we're located about halfway between San Francisco and Sacramento, and we actually have 2 stations in our city, or one just in the neighboring city. So great accessibility. And get to the next slide, please. And as the intro mentioned, we are home of the world famous Jelly Belly Candy Company, just located off of Interstate 80. Jelly Belly is a great stop for families with kids, or for those who are just kids at heart, featuring a self-guided tour that'll allowing you to explore a quarter-mile journey through the factory at your own pace. This is a newer format for their tour, and they have pre-reserved time slots due to COVID, and I think that they're going to continue with that format going forward. It is a paid tour, but a nominal fee of $5 for adults, and I believe kids under 12 are free. But you can enjoy the candy making process.
Like free. We like free.
Yeah.
We like free.
And they also make their own chocolates there in-house, and they created an amazing chocolate and wine pairing experience that they actually pair with local wines. And that takes us to our next slide. Somebody's asking about Reagan's image. Jelly Belly was actually really made famous because of Ronald Reagan. When he was governor, there was almost weekly shipments up to the Capitol of jelly beans. His favorite flavor was black licorice, and he actually started eating the jelly beans or Jelly Bellies because he was trying to quit smoking the pipe because he was getting into, obviously, he was becoming a politician. And for his 1980 inauguration, Jelly Belly actually had to develop the custom flavor of blueberry because they made red, white, and blue candy jars to commemorate. As dignitaries from all over the world would come to the White House, the gift that was given was, in fact, Jelly Bellies as part of the offering. He had a custom tray built on Air Force One to accommodate his jar. And there you can see many pictures of the Resolute desk along with the outer offices with dishes of Jelly Bellies. So that is our big promoter there. And there is some amazing memorabilia of Ronald Reagan and various letters and pictures and whatnot at the Jelly Belly factory that you can check out. So getting back to the wine.
Wine.
Well, we do have our own wine region. The Sassoon Valley region was actually, the AVA was established only 6 months after the Napa Valley AVA. And of course, we're not as well known, but there have been some winemakers that have definitely noticed Fairfield and Sassoon Valley. We've got a very small wine region, some great local wineries. But our newest and most recent addition, who is not only building a tasting room, but has already moved all their production, is the Wagner family of wines. And you may know them by their primary brand, which is Camus Vineyards up in Rutherford. So all of their production is actually done in Fairfield, and they are building a beautiful tasting room right there in Fairfield. Our valley is also has an award-winning olive oil company. And it is start to finish produced on site. They have beautiful olive trees throughout their grounds. They mill them on site. They bottle everything on site. They have a variety of different co-milled type flavors. And they also have cooking classes and things of that sort. So it's a really amazing experience.
Anand, can I interrupt for 1 minute? Because I think this is, someone asked what AVA stands for. And I know the V stands for viticulture, and I forget.
American Viticulture Area. And that it's actually established by Congress. So it's when you kind of draw out the line of, hey, this region produces this type of grape or this type of soil and temperature that produces this type of grape. It allows people to, as long as you've got a certain percentage of grapes from that region in a bottle or in the winemaking process, you could actually put that label as Sassoon Valley, or in other cases, Napa Valley, so on and so forth. So when you see a bottle that says Napa Valley, it has to be, most of those grapes have to come from a specific region. And that's
so it's American Viticulture. I'm just writing this in here. Viticulture area. Okay.
Right.
And that actually ends up on the bottle of wine. So you can, right? Every bottle of wine has the AVA on it, right?
Again, it has to be a certain percentage of the grapes have to come from that region. So, for example, most of our grapes from Fairfield, believe it or not, are shipped back east to winemakers back there. So you may actually see a bottle of wine that says Connecticut, but the AVA will in fact be Sassoon Valley because that's where the grapes came from.
Okay.
And this is GV Cellars. It's a beautiful, obviously an amazing backdrop to not just enjoy wine, but to grab bring a picnic lunch and enjoy the natural beauty of our region. Next slide, please.
Okay.
So we've got a variety of different fun things to do out in our area. Not too far from us is the Western Railway Museum, which is currently still closed. However, we look forward to it opening. A great little train ride that takes you out, and especially beautiful in April when the wildflowers are growing and it's just a stunning view out there. They also do special events with a couple different wine offerings and things like that. We also have the American Armory Museum, and that is actually owned by and operated by Jelly Belly. The owner of Jelly Belly is a military enthusiast, and so he decided to open his own museum, and they've got all kinds of different military vehicles and just all kinds of things like that, and not just from the US, but from other countries as well. They have General Patton's Jeep that is actually featured indoors. They've got an indoor and an outdoor component, so that's a lot of fun to go check out. And of course, we've got some amazing outdoor offerings. Sassoon has kayaking, which is a lot of fun, and Rockville Hills Park is stunning, not just for hiking, but also mountain biking as well. The kayaking actually is walking distance from the Sassoon train station, which is fantastic. All of these, especially, well, the Railway Museum, not so much, but the other three items are definitely easily accessible on bikes. So if you were to bring your bike along on the train, you can do a nice loop up through the valley, check out the Armory Museum, and maybe end with some kayaking. And we're actually going to be posting a video about a trail that people can follow for that. And the next slide, I'm not sure if that was my last slide or not. It is. Okay. Excuse me. So we are, again, obviously we are kind of in the middle of Sacramento and San Francisco. We were recently awarded a California Welcome Center. So we proudly opened that in late March of last year in the midst of COVID. So to date, it hasn't seen a whole lot of visitors, but it is a beautiful addition to the California Welcome Center program. We are the 19th California Welcome Center in the system, and it is actually located inside Jelly Belly. So please come and check it out. So that is all I have. Thank you for your time.
Okay. All right, I'm going to move on to the next.
We do have a couple of questions, I think, that have come in. Karen, I don't know if you want to answer them now. There's one specifically about how does one get to the train station, to Jelly Belly or Budweiser?
So Budweiser, unfortunately, they had six breweries around the country that offered tours and tastings. About 3 years ago, 3 of those were pulled, and unfortunately Fairfield was one of those. So it is no longer open to the public, despite having built an amazing, beautiful tasting room just a few years prior to that. So that is not available. So as far as accessing Jelly Belly, either, again, as I mentioned, if you're cycling, it's very quick to be able to cycle there, or an Uber. There isn't really any type of public transit that would take you from the train station to Jelly Belly, but it's not very far.
And I think there's another question about, are there wine pairings in Fairfield with Jelly Belly flavors, which would be really fun.
We've tried, but they decided, and probably more, probably better for the wine itself, but they pair it with the chocolates that they make, and actually even some of the fudge that they make in-house. So it is still Jelly Belly product, but it isn't necessarily the jelly beans. And I've done it several times, and they do change it, so it's not the same old, they pair it with new wines and even new chocolates as they come out. The final one is actually a port that's served in a chocolate shot glass that you drink, and then you eat the shot glass, which is really fun.
And there is another question, I think it's in the chat, but about, connections basically from some of these destinations to the train station. I think what we're planning to do is maybe we'll do an email out to all of the attendees and registrants, sort of, talking about some of the ways people can connect to these different places along the route. Okay. Does that sound good, Karen?
That sounds great.
Okay, good. And you know what? I have a hint for the next panelist. So I have my blueberry Jelly Belly, and I have my other favorite flavor, which is buttered popcorn. So we've got the blue and the yellow going on here. So I don't know. What do you think, Karen?
I gotta tell you, I love all those Jelly Belly flavors.
Go Bears.
So there you go.
That's right. Go Bears.
I don't want to give it away yet, but does everyone know? Well, this next destination is known for a lot of things, not necessarily jelly beans, but including one of the best universities in the world, Priscilla. My husband went there too. And one of the most famous chefs in the world, right? Alice Waters. And I guess Abby
Yes.
Hoffman and all that. But also known for the one thing that I start all my days with, and that would be this. Can you see? Pete's Coffee and tea. And actually my favorite flavor is this Cafe Domingo, which is a medium roast. I feel like a lot of people who drink Pete's really like the dark, but I don't know, I'm from Boston, so grew up on Dunkin' Donuts, so I have to find like a good compromise here. So anyway, so this is my favorite, but Pete's
Mine
Coffee.
too. Not
What's
Domingo,
that?
not Cafe Domingo, but I like the French roast.
Okay, I like that too. I like this has a little bit of a nutty flavor to it. But Pete's Coffee and Tea was started by Albert Pete in 1966 in the North Shattuck district of Berkeley, and its original store is still open today on Vine Street. So with that, I'm going to turn this over to Dan Marengo at Visit Berkeley so he can talk more about all the amazing things to see and do in Berkeley. Dan.
Hey, thank you, Karen, and thank you.
You're welcome.
That was a great little intro with your Jelly Belly.
Yeah,
I love it.
You had me kind of, I was like, wow.
It was tasty too.
I think we have at least 2 bears on our panel today, and probably a lot of people watching have been Cal alumni as well. So anyway, welcome everybody. Thanks for having me, Amtrak, on this. Wanted to start with the next slide, which is my
Oh yeah, I gotta get,
opening
I'm not doing well on the slides today. There we go, Visit Berkeley, okay.
Yeah, so I just want to say visitberkeley.com is your best resource for coming into Berkeley, planning your trip, finding a hotel, selecting a restaurant, whatever you want to do. We probably have it is an information or itinerary on our website. But if it's not there, we instituted a new program during the pandemic, and that's we have a live chat feature now on our homepage. So weekdays, you can hit us up. We have staff members there, visitor information experts who monitor that chat. And if you have a question or just need a recommendation, we're always there for you. Also on our website is our visitor guide in digital format, 2021 version. Lots of great info on there. And we just, we like to say everyone's a little Berkeley, and we encourage people to be a little Berkeley. So there you go. Next slide, please.
Okay.
So yes, University of California, it's really the heart of the city, but there are many districts surrounding the university that are really worthwhile to explore on their own right. Berkeley is super walkable. The Amtrak Berkeley stop is right near one of our most enchanting districts, I would say, is 4th Street, and you can walk easily there. It's a open air shopping, dining area. Also, the Amtrak station is very close to the Berkeley Marina, where you can take a walk on the bayfront, enjoy just the vistas over to San Francisco. So it's really a well-located station. And then getting throughout Berkeley is very easily with public transportation, bikes, or your feet. It's very walkable. So next slide, please. I just want to highlight a few things that are reopening in the coming months. We've been waiting for this, everyone, for a year. So we're so glad that one of our major institutions, the Berkeley Art Museum, which is also called BAM PFA, reopens this Saturday. Now they'll have time tickets, so you do need to make a reservation, but it's just a wonderful institution. It's right in the heart of our downtown arts district. So you can walk through downtown Berkeley, go to the art museum, all in the same day. It's very easy. Now we're very excited about Cal football, which is coming back this fall. The University of California plays at California Memorial Stadium right there on campus. And we're expecting 40% capacity at the stadium in the fall. So that's going to be a big boon for Berkeley in general, and I think it will add a lot of excitement to the whole scene here. Our Berkeley wine block has been open for several months now through this time for outdoor seating. As you can see here, they're enjoying a little urban wine drinking there. We have urban winemakers in Berkeley who are venting the wine right here on site. And then in July, we are looking forward to promoting a campaign called JOURNÉ, which will be a food and drink citywide campaign highlighting our food, our restaurants, and our all of our libations, including beer, wine, and Pete's coffee. Next slide, please. So this really is one of my favorite pictures of Berkeley because it is so Berkeley. There are at least 5 very Berkeley things in this picture that you can see. This is taken on Telegraph Avenue, and Moe's Books is really an institution in terms of bookstores in the Bay Area, if not the country. It's there. Let's see, there's some Pete's Coffee in the foreground, I believe there. There's a bike, which is very bikeable in Berkeley. So we've got a bike there, and some young college-looking students there in the foreground, in the background, and finally, tie-dye, right? It's Berkeley, so there's someone with tie-dye in the picture. So that's really kind of captures what we're really hoping to return to this summer and fall in the Berkeley travel scene. And yeah, thank you so much for your time. I hope to see everyone in Berkeley very soon.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions specific to Berkeley? Because I'm going to kind of take a quick little break here and talk a little bit about Capitol Corridor. But Priscilla, do you see any questions that we need to ask?
No, just a lot of Berkeley love, lots of Cal fans there. Yeah, we got there's lots of cheering going on here.
Okay,
so I think people are very excited for the activities to open in Berkeley and reopening. So yay.
Well, someone
thank
did
you very
ask.
much. I'm going to give a shout out here to Martha for letting people know the easiest way to get to downtown Berkeley on Capitol Corridor is to get off the train in Richmond and transfer to BART. So thank you very much for mentioning that. And it's a very beautiful walk up to the campus, and you can easily access downtown Berkeley from the downtown Berkeley BART station.
Thank you, Martha. Okay, I'm going to take a very quick break here before we get to our last 3 destinations along the route. And I just want to talk a little bit about Capitol Corridor's health and safety. I just want to make sure that everyone feels really comfortable when they're getting on the train, because, you know, people are just starting to travel now. And we understand that there's probably still a little nervousness for people just kind of, you know, getting outside their homes and starting to travel and going into places where there are people. So we just want to really reassure you that that the train is a safe place to be. We are continuing our enhanced cleaning with our virus killing disinfectants. We are continuing frequent air filtration, and I forgot to write down these numbers, but I want to say, like, the air is recirculated 22 times in an hour, and we're changing out the air filters every few days. So you know, so we know that that's really important. We have hand sanitizer on all of our trains, buses, and at the stations. And also all of the trains have bathrooms. So you can actually go into a bathroom and there's a sink with hot water so you can wash your hands. We continue, I know there's been a lot of talk about masks over the last couple of days, just because of some of the changing sort of guidance for outdoor mask wearing, but we still are requiring masks to be worn when you're using the Capitol Corridor. So that means, you know, on the train, on a bus, and you should probably still wear it on a platform as well too. So we're still requiring that. And of course, we encourage social distancing. And I did want to mention a couple of things here too. We have on our website what we're calling an occupancy checking tool. And that basically allows you to go on and sort of type in your train. Let's say you're planning a trip on a particular train. You can type in that number and kind of get an idea of what the occupancy will be on that train based on the ridership data that we've collected over the last few weeks. So we're just really monitoring that closely, but at the moment, ridership continues to be low. So there is lots of space on the train and it should feel really safe for most people. We do plan on increasing service on June 7th. We're very excited about that. And as part of that increase in service, we also plan on reinstating cafe car service, meaning food and beverage service. And we're going to do that in kind of a limited way. We'll probably have beverages and grab and go items initially, and then we'll eventually phase back to our normal cafe car service. But I did just want to let you know about that, because we know that for some of the travel that you'll do, you may take the train and want you to feel comfortable when you're on the Capitol Corridor. So I will stop there and I'm going to let Priscilla introduce. We'll continue along the route and I'll let Priscilla introduce our next destination.
But before we leave Berkeley,
Yeah.
we have one question in the Q&A about this to Dan. What is your favorite brewery in Berkeley?
Oh, that's a tough question, but there are several really good ones. I am partial to Triple Rock Brewery, which was really one of the first ones in California. And they really produce some beautiful ales there. And it's a fun setting. It's right there in downtown Berkeley. They have a little rooftop sort of outdoor patio area. That's probably my favorite, but you know, there's so many. Gilman Brewing is fantastic. Trumer Pills is brewed in Berkeley. And then of course, anybody who's been to Berkeley knows Jupiter, which is the tap room right there in downtown Berkeley.
Yes.
That is just an epic backyard beer garden that becomes most Cal students' favorite place at some point.
Lots of memories there. But thank you, Dan. I'm going to move a little bit west. And this destination is famous for, its famous drink is Irish coffee. Now, this is not the actual kind, but this is my rendition here at home. But in the busy season in San Francisco, the Buena Vista, where this was brought to the States, serves around 2,000 Irish coffees a day. And apparently they've served over 40 million since 1952. And people think it's all about the alcohol, but apparently what really makes the Irish coffee as good as it is the specific way that the cream is whipped. Probably not from my spray whip can here, but the way that the cream is whipped, it really completes the drink is how they say. So I'm gonna have to go check that out sometime and get one. But we welcome now to our panel here, we've got Scott Streeter from Visit San Francisco.
Thank you. Yeah, the Irish coffee is pretty delicious, actually. We try to bring it to a lot of our events that we host, around the world, actually, and bring bartenders from the Buena Vista with us. And hands down, it's the biggest hit at any conference that we're a part of, both prior to the conference when they're walking in the morning and afterwards when they need a little afternoon pick me up. But
that is so great.
Afternoon, good early evening to everybody here. Appreciate everybody taking the time to listen to these awesome destinations. And the great thing really about the Bay Area is that we are really one destination, we're one region, and obviously San Francisco being the international destination within it, happy to kind of lead that and really work with all the destinations on this panel to bring people back and promote our region within. So I'm happy to be talking about the city a little bit. We can jump over to the next slide and talking about why San Francisco and why now, really. Something that we are hitting heavy right now is open spaces. What most people don't know or don't recognize or realize is that 20% of San Francisco is actually parks. We're only 7 by 7, 49 square miles. So in the grand scheme of things, we're a pretty small city, less than 1 million people in terms of population. But we have so much to see and do and visit and experience within our parks that's really what we want people to do when they come to San Francisco, is get out and about, enjoy the open air, be able to see some new experiences and really enjoy what we have to offer. The picture you see there, actually, just like Sacramento, we have a Ferris wheel as well that's next to the Cal Academy of Sciences and the DeYoung Museum, right smack dab in the middle of Golden Gate Park. It was actually extended another 4 years, so we're really excited about that as well. Tickets are available, but they tend to be sold out on the weekend, so buy those in advance. But if you're coming on a weekday, which obviously we would love to see you here, you would need to book in advance, but they're pretty easy to get at this point. The other highlight there would be the Presidio National Park. As far as I know, we're one of the only major destinations really in the US that has a national park within a city. It's always the first place that I tell visitors from out of town, my friends or family that are coming in, to go experience. It's really some place you can get lost in for a day. And whether you're a nature lover or you're looking to see museums or some culinary opportunities, walk along the beach, whatever it may be, the Presidio can offer it to you. So I'd encourage everybody to spend some time to research it. They have a new park that'll be opening at the end of this year called Tunnel Tops, which is really excited for everybody. It really takes you from the beach all the way into the Presidio over the freeway, which is pretty cool. So with that, really, how do you get around? I'm there with everybody. I live in the city. I know what a pain in the you-know-what it can be to get around sometimes. Now's the time to come. I live right in Noe Valley, and I can tell you it's never been easier to get around San Francisco. And now that Muni is starting service back up middle of May with the underground trains, we're really encouraging people to leverage the public transportation options that we have. Of course, with Capitol Corridor coming in, getting off at 555 Mission, being able to access BART and Muni from that location and enjoy Salesforce Park while you're there as well. In addition to the different bike share and just our general walkability, I think there's a lot of opportunities for you there. And finally, highlighting some of the events that we have upcoming. Really excited. I was out at the Olympic Club on Monday for the US Women's Open Media Day. That will be hosted June 3rd through the 6th in San Francisco with fans, up to 5,000 fans per day, which we are extremely excited about. It'll be our first major sporting event, kind of middle post-COVID, however you want to look at it. The following week, actually in Daly City at Lake Merced Golf Course, will be the Meta Hill Championship. So there's back-to-back weeks of the women's professional golfers coming into play. We are expecting Fleet Week to happen this year, October 8th through the 10th, as well as Outside Lands, October 29th through the 31st, again in Golden Gate Park. So just another shout out to the park there. We can flip over to the next slide. And just a quick highlighting of some new and exciting attractions and whatnot. I mentioned Sky Wheel, which is in Golden Gate Park. The museums, and most people are familiar with our major museums, Cal Academy, Exploratorium. I'd also encourage folks to research kind of our smaller museums, the Museum of Craft and Design, the Museum of the African Diaspora, the Museum of the Contemporary Jewish Museum. There's a lot of other ones that we have that you should really pay attention to. Pier 39 and Alcatraz reopening. If you've struggled to get Alcatraz tickets in the past, again, now's the time to do it before the rush comes back for the summer. And a quick little hidden gem, my favorite place to go in the city or tell people to go is Stowe Lake, again in Golden Gate Park. Really, you can spend a whole day there and get lost and have an amazing time. One of the developments during COVID in San Francisco has been a slow streets program. So we've closed off streets throughout almost every neighborhood, made them pedestrian and bike friendly, really opening up neighborhoods for people to just explore and again, spend hours and having a coffee here and a cocktail there and a bite to eat in a day is really something special now. And highlighting a few of the food and drink options and new ones, at least believe it or not, there's been a ton that's opened in the past year. These are just a few of them. New Belgium has a tap room that's opened up right next to the ballpark. So if you're coming in for a Giants game, which they are now allowing, I would encourage you to check that out, have a couple beers prior to. There's a new Filipino restaurant at Fisherman's Wharf, which is also, I haven't had it yet, but I have a couple colleagues who have and said it's absolutely amazing. And Mercado is a new kind of Spanish Latin feel mix to it in Soma that would be another spot to check out and should be high on your list. But of course, we can flip over to the next page, which will show you our website, tons of itineraries, whether it's a day trip, a weekend trip, a weekly trip, you name it. We have it all there for you, as well as our digital visitor guide. And I'd encourage everybody to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for up-to-date information, inspiration, and whatnot. So welcome any questions, offline or not. My name is Scott. Scott at SF Travel is my email. Happy to talk to anybody at any time. So thank you.
I'm not sure where Priscilla went, but thank you, Scott. Someone asked about Hardly Strictly Bluegrass. That's up in Napa, though, right?
Napa has Bottle Rock.
Bottle Rock, sorry.
Yeah,
okay, so do you know what's going on with that?
They haven't announced it yet.
Okay.
We've heard rumblings back and forth. Frankly, it's city politics, right? So we're trying to figure out what's allowed and what to navigate that. We hope so. The fact that it's free and the type of music that it provides, we're just figuring that out from a capacity standpoint. Hopefully, knock on wood.
Okay. All right. Okay, we're moving on to another. Thank you, Scott. We're going to move on to another drink. I think this one could be the best drink of the night. And
nice.
So I'll tell you what's supposed to be in it, because I didn't put all those things in it. But in our next destination, someone named Victor Bergeron, aka Trader Vic, concocted this creation in 1944 at his Oakland restaurant called Trader Vic's. And mixing, I wrote this down because I can't remember it. Mixing, I was never a bartender. Mixing Jamaican rum, fresh lime, curacao, rock candy, and some kind of syrup that I can't pronounce. When he served it to his visiting Tahitian friends, they allegedly said, Mai Tai Row A, which means out of this world, the best. Of course, that is the Mai Tai. I will take a sip of it because I just put like pineapple juice and cranberry juice in there. But again, we will have that after. So the original Trader Vic's that was in Oakland is actually in Emeryville now, but there's still plenty of places to get a Mai Tai in Oakland. And Lisa Baird with Visit Oakland is going to tell us where to get those Mai Tais and what else to do in Oakland. Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi, thank you so much. I really wish I had a Mai Tai in my hand right now. That looked delicious.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone for taking an hour out of your evenings to be with us all. So Karen, if you could jump to the next slide.
Sorry. Again, not doing well with slides tonight.
That is,
there we go. There's your slide, and then we'll go here.
Perfect. Thank you. So when you jump off the Capitol Corridor train in Oakland, you are in the heart of Jack London Square, which is Oakland's warehouse and waterfront district. Jack London Square is home to live music venues, restaurants, bars, wineries, breweries, hotels, outdoor activities, places to shop, and so much more. I honestly think that you could easily spend a day just in Jack London Square. Next slide, please. So not only are you near the port in Jack London Square with, you know, huge industrial cranes, which are said to have inspired George Lucas and Star Wars with the AT-AT or AT-AT. I don't know how you pronounce that correctly. But you're also near a recreational waterfront where you can rent sailboats, kayaks, and stand-up paddleboards to explore the Oakland estuary. But maybe you prefer exploring on two wheels and decided to bring your bike on the Capitol Corridor train, which you can easily do. And so if that's your preferred method of exploration, you could follow the Bay Trail along the waterfront or even pedal north up through our downtown towards the iconic Lake Merritt, which I have a picture of that I will share with you in just a couple minutes. Or maybe local art is something that really piques your interest. Jack London Square is home to a bunch of murals that are featured in a few of our different self-guided walking tours as well. And you can find those on our Things to Do section of our website. A few more highlights of this neighborhood that's all in walking distance from the train station in Jack London Square. We've got 4 breweries in Jack London Square, which is it's just under half of the total number of breweries in Oakland and that are participating in our Oakland Ale Trail. Which is like a digital passport program. If you go to all the different breweries, you get a custom growler at the end. Another iconic spot in Jack London Square is California's, I believe it's the second oldest bar. It's called Heinold's First and Last Chance Saloon, and it opened in 1883. We also have a new outdoor margarita garden, which is called Nito's Backyard. I guess in the spirit of happy hour, there are also a handful of different urban wineries in the area. Rosenblum Winery is beautiful. It's right on the water. You get views of the port and also of the ferry terminal that has ferries that run to Alameda and San Francisco as well. There's also not a shortage of coffee in Jack London with a couple different Oakland roasters where you can grab a coffee as well. And a Sunday morning farmers market that has fresh produce and food and also small shops that you can buy from as well. And last but not least, there's a handful of hotels along the waterfront as well. So you can enjoy great views while you're sipping coffee in the morning, or maybe you're more a happy hour type and you're having wine and cheese while you're looking at the sunset. Next slide, please. And then this is sort of my favorite thing to share about Oakland. I think that 2 things that always surprise people is that Oakland has an urban lake situated right next to our downtown named Lake Merritt. It's about 3.2 miles around the perimeter. If you go, you'll see people walking, jogging with strollers, sitting by the lake on the grass, picnicking. It's sort of our jewel in our downtown area. And then also, like my background that you'll see now, Oakland also has hills that are filled with hundreds of miles of trails and redwood trees. So you can enjoy hiking or mountain biking, or if outdoor activities aren't really your thing, you can enjoy a great place to have a picnic with a view as well. So that's all I have, and I look forward to seeing some of you in Oakland soon.
Okay, thank you so much, Lisa.
Awesome.
I've always been telling Lisa that the Redwood Regional Park is like just the most amazing discovery. And if Muir Woods can get really, really crowded and it's hard to get in there, but just go to Redwoods because it's just amazing. So thank you.
Yes, and Lake Merritt is like the best free outdoor gym ever because everybody just runs around and does exercises and does the stairs and all kinds of things. There's dancing, there's roller skating, you name it. There's all kinds of stuff going on around the lake always. But we're traveling south on our service route here, And our next destination, did you know, is the epicenter of boba culture in the Bay Area. And this would be San Jose. And from freshly made juices and all different kinds of flavors, they've just brought this popular Taiwanese drink from just this quick snack, and it's now like a full-blown lifestyle. And there's just big fans of boba drinks everywhere. But this drink blends this city's diversity and their international appeal and brings it to the forefront. And apparently you can have boba flights, to try out different kinds of boba drinks. And they tell us that there's even boba hot pot, which I have not tried. And I'm really, really curious to hear about that. So with that, I'm going to introduce Frances Wong from Visit San Jose to tell us all about boba hot pot and everything else to see in San Jose.
Hi, and I couldn't wait until my turn to drink my boba. So I've been sipping on this for a while. But there was a boba shortage, but rest assured, the boba is back. So we are good to go. Everything is right. Yeah, so I'm from Visit San Jose, and we're more than just Silicon Valley, even though there's a lot of fun facts about how San Jose is connected to today's tech culture, where the first hard drive was invented. There's really if you go to the next slide.
Yep.
Yeah, there's where the first hard drive is invented. We're the first state capital of California. It's a little fun fact as well.
Yes, just to interrupt you, that is the hint for our name, Capital Corridor, because we go between the first state capital and the current state capital.
Yep, and so for us, we have 300 days of sunshine. So we are easily we get summer all year long. And because we're the 10th largest city in the country, the 3rd in California, we're also largest geographically and by population. We have 18 unique neighborhoods. And what that means is that you get varied experiences from urban metropolis, a suburban oasis, and then we get great outdoor space as well. So we get access to everything. And we like to say that we're 10 to 15 minutes away from every single adventure that you can even think of. For us, we are a business destination as well with our convention center. That's one of our crown jewels in downtown. And with that, we have 4,000 hotel rooms that are perfect for workations and weekend getaways, which is perfect for summer travel and with the kids right now. Next slide, please. And with that, I wanted to remind everybody that during this entire year, we've been really working hard to make sure that health and safety is our top priority. And during this time, we've actually instilled a GBAC star accreditation, which is a global biorisk advisory council, which means it's a whole lot of smart people that are infectious disease experts, setting out guidelines that we're all following for a safety and sanitation record for all places that a visitor would touch, which means the San Jose theaters, the San Jose Montgomery Convention Center, the SCP Center, the airport, and all our hotels are following some sort of protocol that are aligned with our health and sanitation standards. So, and then also with that, our artists, which you would not think are experts in the sanitation portion with everything, they are actually leading the way in a program called Safely Social San Jose, which teaches businesses and small businesses how to operate safely and without interfering or disrupting customer experience. So the entire community, the entire city is on board with bringing back a safe and visitor journey across the board. So we're all excited about that. Next slide, please. And you might recognize the slide. It's the same picture behind me. That's our beloved historic California Theater. It's home to many of our arts partners, including Opera San Jose and Silicon Valley Symphony. Opera San Jose actually calls that home, and they've actually been phenomenal as an arts partner in pivoting during this entire year with virtual shows. They're also partnering with our different partners who are going to be working with us on some sort of a hotel package as well to really get the arts and the vibrancy coming into downtown and across the city as well. So the California Theater is actually one of 4 theaters in our San Jose Theaters family. And the other one I wanted to highlight is, next slide, please, is this one. This is the Center for Performing Arts. And I wanted to show this to you for 2 reasons. One, it's home of Broadway San Jose, which just announced that they're coming back in the fall with Hamilton. So Hamilton will be coming to San Jose.
Oh, yay.
So tickets go on sale in May for the fall. So you guys
better,
better get in line for that.
That's really exciting.
Yeah, but their entire lineup is amazing too. So especially with Broadway being shut down this past year, everybody's so excited to welcome live performances back.
I am so excited for theater to reopen. Like, I can't even tell you. That's so exciting to hear.
Hamilton, yep. And the other fun fact I wanted to show this building is if you guys are fans of Bob's Burgers, the cartoon, this is actually an inspiration to one of their buildings in the cartoon. So one of the illustrators actually from San Jose, and he used to go to this theater all the time as a kid. So he actually paid homage to it in the cartoon series. So in the cartoon, in the Bob's Burgers world, it's actually called the Wharf Arts Center. So look that up. And the funny joke is if you keep saying that 10 times fast, there's a joke in there. I'm not going to repeat it, but there's a joke in there. Next slide, please. And for those in the Bay Area, I hope you know this, but this is a local gem or a local gem that's called the Winchester Mystery House. So this is a mansion owned by Sarah Winchester, heiress to the Winchester Rifle Company. She, this comes from a tragic story where she inherited her fortune because her husband passed away. And also like not a short time later, her baby also passed away. And because of that, she thought she was haunted by the victims or the ghosts that were killed by the rifle company. So she, in order to protect herself and to really ward off the spirits, she started a never-ending construction project on this one Victorian mansion. So it wasn't that big, and she kept adding rooms. There's stairs to go to nowhere. There's a door that leads straight. You could plummet right into the garden. So it's a really cool architectural piece in San Jose, and it's in the middle of what used to be orchards, and now it's actually in the middle of a vibrant shopping destination, which I'll show you later. So it's a really cool piece of history, and it's a really cool juxtaposition of San Jose's past and future as well. And with the new protocols that are in place, it's physically distanced now, and you can really have an intimate experience just with your family or your group as you go into the just tour the rooms and all the creepy stories that go with it. It's really cool, and it's really fun during Halloween, just FYI. And next slide, please. And this is our San Jose Museum of Art, which is located right in downtown. And I mention this because they're open right now with a slew of different art exhibits, and they've actually pivoted and operated virtually online for a while with their events and talks. But you can actually now go in person with limited hours, but you can go in and really see the art for yourself. And because they've had all this art scheduled, now is the best time to go see it, because it's really just an amazing compilation of all the different artists that are both recognized San Jose and have partnered with San Jose and really put San Jose at the forefront of an international arts destination. Next slide, please. And this is our beloved Santana Row. This is our premier shopping destination area. It's upscale and dining area. It's actually, this is an older picture now. There's this street that these people are walking on is actually more alfresco dining. So it's actually, they've actually closed down the streets and it's all become alfresco dining. And it's awesome because our weather is perfect for it. And there's a hotel and it's and shopping and dining. It's modeled after European towns. So it's actually a really cool little world on Santana Row. And across the street is a renovated Westfield Valley Fair Mall, which has expanded outdoor space, a new Bloomingdale's. We're getting an Eataly, and we're getting a China as well.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's really going to be an international,
Really?
it's going to be an international foodie destination, both on Santana Row and across the street at Westfield. Oh, and also Din Tai
Nice.
Fung is at Westfield. Never forget that. And Din Tai Fung is cool because it's soup dumplings, but they also have an afternoon tea option, which is really, really fun.
Oh, I didn't know that they had the soup dumpling
Yeah.
place there. I'm so excited.
Nice.
And next slide, please. So with that, we have sports coming back to San Jose, coming back across the state. So we are so excited about that. Sharks are just started playing again last week, but I want to talk about the Earthquakes with their newly branded PayPal Park. This PayPal Park now is going to be home of the Earthquakes and it's going to be completely cashless. You can even pay by Venmo, and that's going to be the preferred choice of payment for everything at the park. And I think that's going to really set the stage for everything moving forward, both not only in San Jose, but across the world and how we do our transactions. So it's really cool to see this firsthand.
Quick question here. Priscilla, you might know that Santana Row, how far is that from our train station? Isn't it like a...
I think it's a pretty easy bus ride, but I'm not sure if it's definitely not walkable.
Yeah, somebody asked that.
Yeah, somebody asked that.
I just don't remember. I remember looking that up, but
yeah, we'll try to like get a blog post together with some of this information about how best to connect to some of these destinations. Because you will need to make a connection sometimes for many of them, but I think Santana Row is well worth it. So I think that, definitely there's, Lyft and Uber and, but for sure, I believe that there's a bus connection there. But 10-minute drive is what someone else is saying. So,
Yeah, you get off on Diridon and then you can hop over to Santana Row.
Yeah.
So we'll look up the transit connections. Okay. For everybody, but yes, I haven't been to Santana Row in a while and I'm looking forward to going again sometime soon.
And then I have 2 more slides for you.
Okay.
And this is our beloved statue honoring not only Tommy Smith, but also John Carlos, who were who raised their fist at the 1968 Olympics in Mexico City. For people thought it was Black rights, but it's actually human rights. And they both raised their fists on the stand when they won gold and bronze for the US. And they were both San Jose State students. And then the reason why I brought this up is that in light of everything that's happening right now, we also want to pay homage to California, but also Bay Area and San Jose's history of social justice in our culture. I think all of our destinations have history for that as well. And so here we have this as just a reminder of where we've been. And then also in San Jose, we have the Cesar Chavez house, which is his childhood home, where he grew up with his mom and really instilled some of the values that he had, which led him to do all the things and change basically the world, at least California history during his lifetime. And so just wanted to put that in there, that all of our destinations in San Jose, we have history leading to where we are today. So just to pay attention to that. And then our last slide is we debuted during, I guess earlier this year, we debuted new GIFs or GIFs, up to debate, but the owner said GIFs, or the inventor said it was GIFs. But if you look up San Jose or San Jose Love in your apps, where GIFs are usable, you can use it on Instagram, on in Messenger, just anywhere where GIFs are available. You can definitely look us up, and we're constantly adding more. And if you have any suggestions, just send them my way and we'll get something designed. It's something that's fun, and really like celebrates our culture and our San Jose pride. So if you're in destination, please go ahead and use these stickers.
Okay.
Love it. And thank you so much for sharing that photo of the statue. And I believe that there's actually a very interesting story about the silver medal winner as well, and his sort of allyship to the cause that the others were raising there. So I encourage you all to look that one up, because I remember it being a very touching story and worth hearing about.
Yeah, thank you, Francis. There was one thing that you said as well that I think is really a common theme for all of these destinations, is that right now, while we're still in kind of this like funky period of like, people kind of starting to travel, but we're not really having a lot of tourism in the area. This is a really amazing time to actually go and explore our own backyard, because when you think about Northern California, it's one of the most popular destinations from people all over the world. So we have this opportunity that we just don't have, where we have limited, not as many people are allowed into these destinations. So it's just a great time to really see everything. So this is just an awesome opportunity. And I want to thank all of you for sharing these places with us. So yeah, just thank you. And I encourage everyone to just go out there and explore everything that Northern California has to offer, because it's an amazing place. And then there's one last slide just to have, we have all the website addresses for all of these fantastic destinations who were with us tonight. Thank you all for joining us. I know we went a little bit over, but there's really so much to talk about. I hope you're all able to enjoy a drink. And those of us who participated, who are on the panel, can enjoy a drink after. And then just again, all of the destinations have a sort of prize package. We're going to take, if you leave your email address after you leave the webinar, we will pick winners and we'll let you know. And that's it.
Yes,
Priscilla,
giveaways. Yeah, no, just everybody, just drop your emails in and make sure you get in on the giveaway. And we really appreciate you being here tonight. And thank you so much for checking out all the different destinations. And we hope to see you back on the train soon.
Yeah. And if there's any questions we didn't answer, we'll check that out and we'll try to get those answered. We have your contact information. So we're good. Thank you all. Good night.